Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really important report. It's from Virtualization Options LLC, a tech research and advisory group that works with executives just like you. And together, we're going to build your playbook, a guide for making sure your business can weather any storm in the cloud and stay resilient. So, your business is in the cloud. That's fantastic. But let me ask you a blunt question. Are you actually ready for a crisis? Because here's the thing. When stuff goes wrong in the cloud, it goes wrong in ways you've probably never even imagined before. Think about it. Old school, traditional IT was, well, it was predictable. The servers were in a room down the hall. But the cloud? That's a whole different animal. It's dynamic, it's spread out all over the globe, it's incredibly complex, and the very same things that give you all that power and agility, they also open up a whole new world of risk. Your old rulebook just doesn't apply here. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll walk through the new challenges the cloud brings. Then, we'll build out your actual incident management playbook. We'll talk about your team and who does what. Then, we'll cover how to go from just reacting to being truly resilient. And finally, we'll talk about how to measure what actually matters. Okay, let's jump right in. Section 1, the cloud's new challenges. We're going to unpack exactly why yesterday's crisis plan is basically useless for today's world. So what are these big challenges? Well, for one, cloud infrastructure is always changing. It's not static. It's also so complex and distributed that finding the one thing that broke, well, it can feel like looking for a needle in a global haystack. And all this new architecture creates brand new doorways for security threats. An incident in the cloud isn't just a tech hiccup anymore. It's a full-blown business crisis that moves at lightning speed. Okay, so that's the problem. Kinda scary, right? So what's the solution? That brings us to Section 2, the Incident Management Playbook. Think of this as your structured process for taming the chaos when things go sideways. And if you remember just one thing from our time today, let it be this. This is the core principle that changes everything. You have to be proactive, not just reactive. We have to stop thinking about just fighting fires. The real goal is to build a business that's fireproof. Getting this mindset shift right is the single most important change you can make. So step 1 of the playbook is all about identification and classification. It might sound a little technical, but it's really common sense. First, you identify there's a problem, maybe from a system alert or even a customer tweet. Then you categorize it. How bad is this really? You log everything, creating one source of truth. And finally, you assign it to the right team. See? Immediately, you're turning a full-blown panic into a predictable, managed process. All right, step 2, prioritization and response. This is where you connect the technical problem directly to the business. You have to assess the real impact. What's this doing to our customers, to our revenue, to our reputation? Based on that, you determine the urgency, and then, and only then, do you assign your best people and tools to fix it. This ensures you're always solving the most important problem first. And step 3? This one is absolutely critical. Root cause analysis. Okay, the fire is out, the immediate crisis is over, but the work is not done. Now your team has to dig in and find out why it happened. And listen, this is not about pointing fingers or placing blame. It's about deeply understanding the underlying cause so you can make sure it never, ever happens again. You know, a great playbook is one thing, but it's totally useless without the right players on the field. And that brings us to Section 3, your team and their roles. Because technology is only half the battle. Real success here comes down to a coordinated response from your people. So who's on this crew? Well, you've got a few key roles. The incident manager is your quarterback, the coordinator. The incident analyst is your detective, the investigator. The incident responder, that's your first responder on the scene. And then you have your technical support teams, your specialists. When everyone knows their role, they can work together seamlessly, even when the pressure is intense. So you have a process, you have a team. Now let's talk about the big picture, the strategic payoff. This is Section 4, and it's all about moving from just responding to problems to building real, lasting business resilience. This is the why behind all of this work. As a leader, it really all boils down to a fundamental choice. You can stick with the old way, what we can call reactive firefighting, which, let's be honest, means more downtime and huge risks to your reputation. Or you can choose proactive fortification. This is about building an organization that is fundamentally resilient, and that resilience builds something priceless: trust. And the benefits here are very real and tangible. Your whole organization becomes more adaptable. Your technical foundations get stronger. Customer trust deepens. And this is a huge one for any executive. Having a structured process makes complying with major regulations like GDPR, HIPAA, and PCI DSS so much stronger, helping you avoid those massive fines. All right, our final section. How do you actually know if this playbook is working? Well, you measure what matters. This isn't about getting lost in data. It's about having a simple, high-level dashboard that tells you everything you need to know at a glance. And you really don't need dozens of metrics. Just focus on 3 key things. First, mean time to detect, or MTTD. How fast do you even know there's a problem? Second, mean time to repair, MTTR. Once you know about it, how fast can you fix it? And third, service availability. Simply put, what percentage of the time are you actually up and running for your customers? Those 3 numbers, they tell the whole story. And that last metric, service availability, that's really the ultimate goal. A number like 99.9%, that's not just some technical spec, not at all. That number represents your promise to your customers. It's a direct measure of your reliability and the overall health of your business in the cloud. And if you want to see the magic of being proactive, just look at this chart. When you shift your focus to prevention, something incredible happens. You don't just get faster at fixing things, the number of things that break in the first place just plummets. And fewer fires to fight means your team can finally stop reacting and start innovating again. Imagine that. So, as a leader, what are your marching orders? It's pretty straightforward. 1, you have to champion this shift to a proactive approach. 2, you need to foster a culture of collaboration where everyone knows their role. And 3, you need to leverage technology and automation not just to react faster, but to prevent issues from ever happening in the first place. Look, getting this right isn't just an IT issue. Your entire business continuity depends on it. So I want to leave you with a challenge, a call to action. Based on what you've seen here, what is the one question you'll ask your team tomorrow to start building a more resilient organization?